Hey guys, good to see you again. Hope if you did that workout earlier, hope it went well for you. If you were able to kind of motor through those snatches, you end up doing a whole bunch of sit-ups, and that was sit-ups are not always kind to me, so I can tell I'm going to feel those in the next couple of days. But today we're going to talk about handstand walking progressions, and we're going to kind of approach this from just assuming that you already know that you can already kick into a handstand up against a wall. You're past the stage where you have to wall walk into a handstand, and this is going to be strictly kind of talking to people that can kick into a handstand, like if you're doing handstand push-ups, and that's where this is going to kind of pick up from. So when you're wanting to learn how to handstand walk, the first thing that you need to be able to do is you want to learn how to be able to practice a freestanding handstand first, just because you want to have a little bit more spatial awareness when you're upside down, out on the floor, and you need to be able to shift weight from one hand to the other. So that's the first thing we're going to talk about is how to get used to being upside down and knowing how to shift weight side to side. So I'm going to hand you over here. So what we're going to look at first is we're going to get into a handstand, and this is kind of the baseline progression for handstand shoulder taps. What we're going to do is kick into the handstand, and we're going to work on just kind of rocking back and forth, and I'll show you what that needs to look like. So if you haven't gone back and watched my video on handstand push-ups, I talk a little bit more about the technique and what you're supposed to look like when you're actually in a handstand. Go back and watch that. But here's the first progression that we look at for the shoulder tap. I'm going to try to very lightly kick up on my door here. So once I'm in the handstand here, all I want to do is, like right now, my weight is balanced, right hand to left. And what I want to do is just kind of shift side to side. Okay, so I'm just trying to very lightly bring my palm up off of the ground. Okay, so I'm keeping my feet pointed straight up, keeping my stomach tight, but I'm just shifting side to side there. And the reason that's important is because when you get to the point where you're trying freestanding handstands and things like that, you're going to have to be able to pick a hand up so that you can kind of move around and keep yourself balanced and keep from falling over. Okay? So now we'll kind of go into the next one where we're actually pulling the hand all the way up off the ground. So I kick into the handstand, and when I shift, I'm kind of moving my hip over on top of that opposite hand. Okay? So I'm just going to kind of shift side to side and lifting the hand up there. Okay, so you're keeping everything tight, you're keeping everything in line, but you want to kind of move the hips side to side over the shoulders. My wife is laughing at me for some reason. So the next progression is going to be pulling the hands all the way up to touching the shoulders. So with this is the full shoulder tap drill. We get up here, we're going to shift, lift the hands.
Oh, that's good.
Thank you, baby. And touching the shoulders that way. So when we move, when you get to the point where you feel really comfortable with that, the next thing that we would do is trying to progress into a freestanding handstand. And what we'll do there is we get you in a handstand up against the wall, and we just work on first taking one foot off of the wall, then bringing the other, letting you feel what it's like to stand in the handstand, and you still have the wall there to be able to catch you. Don't get too far away from the wall. Keep it where you can reach and find that wall if you feel like you're going to go over this way. That's where most people freak out in the handstand, is when they get upside down, then they roll forward. Okay, they kind of roll onto their back. So this will kind of help you learn to just be comfortable in that position and help you find that center point. So when I get into the handstand here, I'm going to pull one foot off and then the other, and just work on that
That way, if I go, forward towards the door, the wall is there to catch me. And then if I lose my balance the other way, if I go backwards, I can bring one foot down there, no big deal. Okay? So, you stay working with that, and then when you get to the point where you're 100%, comfortable with getting up there, it becomes pretty easy for you. Now we want to get off the wall and start working on the full freestanding handstand. So, with this, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to work on kicking up just like we would when we were trying to get you to kick up into a handstand against the wall. We're going to start with just getting, one heel right above your hands. So that would look basically like this, going down, try to get one heel over, right there. See if you can balance there, and then get to the point where you can bring the other one and practicing that way. Okay? So, you're working on freestanding handstands. You're working on shoulder taps. Shoulder taps are a really effective drill. I recommend, as soon as you're able to do them, doing them as much as you can if you want to learn how to handstand walk. Now we actually start practicing taking steps. What I like to do is get you close to the wall, like let's say 3 feet away. And what you're going to do is kick up into the handstand and just try to walk 2 or 3 steps to the wall. Okay? So I'm going to get here. I'm going to kick up. I'm going to walk 1, 2, find the wall, come back down, and I practice that way. Okay? Kicking up, going 1, 2, couple of steps, holding there, and I can eventually work further and further back. I wouldn't, start at 3 feet and then go to 10 feet. Just add a foot at a time. Okay? Just a really easy way to, it gives you kind of that safety net by having the wall right here. All right, but allows you to get comfortable with taking steps. If you can get to the point where you're learning to balance, where you're not going to fall over onto your back, but if you do come down, you're going to come down and land on your feet. Okay, so those are the main drills that I would roll with if you're trying to figure out if you're trying to learn how to handstand walk. It's a lot of fun, really cool party trick. You also get to look awesome whenever there's handstand walking in a workout, and you get to do that in class. You get to show it to everybody. So starting off, doing the working up on the wall tap, or the shoulder tap progressions. Okay, freestanding handstand, and then short walks into the wall. Okay, so if you have any questions or anything, shoot me a message. And if you're wanting to get some one-on-one personal training on the handstand walks or any other kind of weightlifting drill or skill, just shoot me a message and we'll get you rolling. Okay. All right, later, guys.